Hi, this is the McGuire Review, and we're going to take a look at Rumble in the Dungeon. This is actually a really inexpensive game, and it's super fun. It's got the Major Fun Award, 3 to 6 players, 8+, and 20 minutes. Now, I have found that you can play this game with kids much younger than 8, and I'll show you why. So the gameplay is incredibly easy. Right off the bat, you're going to pick a color, and there's quite a few different colors you can choose from here. And you've got a small scoreboard where those scores are going to be tracked over the course of the game. And you got all these really cool, cartoon characters here. They got great artwork, and there's quite a few of them. And then each one of these characters here on the stands is represented again with these smaller coin type, chits that's got a picture of this same. So here's an example of our little warrior. And we've got the stand up, and then we've got the corresponding chit here with that warrior. And then what we're going to have is you've got your dungeon tiles. And these are double-sided. So each one of these tiles you can flip over, and they got a different image on either side. And what's, another little fun aspect of the game makes the replayability nice is when you actually set up the game, you're going to take these. I'm going to move this over to the side here for a second. You're going to take these tiles and you're going to put them down. And you can decide on, who gets to do this. But you're just basically going to put those together and you're going to build the dungeon as you see fit. Just kind of set up your little dungeon in any order that you'd like to. Now, within this dungeon, there is a certain tile that has, and it's this one here, it has a little chest on it. You can put that chest on that tile, and there's a certain tile, which is this one right here, that's kind of the entry tile, the entry to your dungeon. And let's just say that we had that like this. Now we still got these tiles here, and we put all of them on, but let's just say that was our dungeon. What we'd want to do, start the game, is we would take our people before anybody did anything, and everybody can do this. I think it's fun to kind of have everybody grab one or two of them and put them wherever they want. And you'll just set these people on the board wherever you'd like to, okay? So, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and build this out really quick just so we've got a good example and you can see the entire dungeon. And again, mine's kind of generically built here. When you put it together, you may want to make it, sprawl out a little bit more. But let's just say this was our dungeon, and we just randomly place people in that dungeon. Now you'll see there's one person on every single tile, and there's one person. It's our giant orc here is actually on the tile with the treasure chest. Now, whoever gets out of this dungeon with this treasure chest will automatically get the max points for that game round. You play 3 great game rounds within one game. So if you get out of the dungeon with this chest, you automatically get 10 points, which is the most that you can get. And then what you're going to do is all of these chits here, you're going to turn them over. And on the other side, you'll see is this little question mark. So you're going to turn all these over, and you're going to mix them up, and then everybody is going to draw 2 of them. So let's say it was my turn to draw, and I would say, okay, I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to take this one. And it's completely random. You just take 2. And let's say there was multiple people playing, and they would all have their 2. And you keep those secret. So you would look at them, and for instance, I got the warrior and the elf archer. So those are my 2 secret characters for this game round. Now, I'm not going to show those to anybody, so nobody knows that I have the warrior, which is right here, and that elf ranger, which is right here. And, I don't know what my opponents have either. And basically, it's kind of a little bit of a trickery game where every time it's your turn, you're going to do one of a couple different things. You're either going to move one person, and that can be your person or anyone else on the board. It's completely open. You can move whoever you want. Or if there are 2 or more people in a room, you can choose to battle. And battle is as simple as it gets. You just choose which person dies. So let's say it was my turn, and I said, okay, I'm going to take this guy, this little eyeball guy, and I'm going to move him in here. My turn is now over. Next person's turn. that person can now decide, okay, I'm going to grab somebody and I'm going to move them. Or, since we already have 2 people in a room, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to decide to battle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these components out of the way here because I'm going to show you how these people come off the board and what that scoring looks like at the end of the gameplay. Let's say I'm going to take out the eyeball. So, boom, that guy comes out. He's dead. It's the next person's turn. The next person now can decide, okay, I'm going to move here. And it's the next person's turn. Well, they may not want to battle. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to move him in here with this dwarf warrior. Okay, now it's my turn again. All right. Well, I'd like to move that dwarf warrior, but I can't because he's in a room with another person. Whenever there's more than one person in a room, you cannot move them out. You have to battle. Unless the person that's in that room with the other individuals is the person that has the chest. The person with the chest can always move through rooms. But in this instance, the chest is still here by himself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to battle, and I'm going to take out that dwarf warrior, okay? He's the second guy that comes out. Now, I'm showing this because it's important that you keep them in the order of when they come out. So let's just say the gameplay goes on and on and on, and all these guys start coming out, and we have them in order of how they're being killed, and they come out of the game. When we're all done scoring, what's actually going to happen is, and I'll just go ahead and let's just say it worked out to last man standing was our orc here, and he had the chest, and let's just say he made it to that spot. We were actually going to go 1, 2, 3. The person that starts in the 3rd position is where we start counting. So it's going to be 1 point, 2 point, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This guy automatically gets 10. So at the end, everybody's going to flip their guys over, and it's actually pretty funny because you never know. Whoops, that one fell off the table, so we'll just grab another one here. You're never going to know who's who. So it's a really funny thing at the very end because you can see, in some situations you may move your own guy and actually sacrifice one of your guys. And the reason why you have 2 is because it's whichever one of your guys makes it the furthest down this chain is how many points you get. So in this situation, let's say, I had the warrior and I had the elf archer. The warrior actually made it further down than the elf archer did. Let's say if that's how the game played out. So the elf archer isn't what I would use. I would use my warrior, and I would say, oh, he made it all the way to the end there. So he gets 9 points actually. And whoever was, let's say, the orc, and in this gameplay, it was no one. So nobody would actually get the chest there with the orc, unless there was some type of strategy that played out as you're playing the game, where at any point in time, if you have 2 in the room and it's one with the chest, and it's somebody's turn, you can decide just to kill that orc, and now the eyeball has the chest. So there may be a strategy there where you actually use a person that isn't you to get that chest closer to one of the people that are you, and then what you do is you try to get that other person killed, and now you have the chest. So there's tons of different strategies of how to play out, of how to get the chest into the hands of one of your guys, how to maybe trick and sacrifice one of your guys to make one of your other people last a little bit longer than anyone else's. Just tons of fun. I've had a great time every time we've played this game. And quite frankly, I would call this game something that's probably, geared and designed more for children. But I've played this game with many adults, and every time we have a great time because it's just one of those beer and pretzel type games. It's super simple, super easy. Again, you can only do one of 2 things on your turn. You either move or battle, but it's really fun to be the person at the end that flips those coins open, and again, you got to take 3 rounds for a whole game, so it isn't like you got to win on that first round. So you may not get the great point, on that first game round of the game, but you might come in on the 2nd round or the 3rd round and take the win. So it's a lot of fun. It does come with a very small book here that's full color and lays out the game, gives a couple different options of how maybe you can lay out the dungeon, but again, that's completely up to you. And again, they're dual-sided, so that adds to the replayability of when you build that dungeon. And just a great little game. I'm really impressed with this. When I picked it up, I was definitely in the mindset that it's going to be very simple. I definitely picked it up for my kids, mainly my daughter, and when I started playing it, it was just so much fun. This comes out almost every single time we've got friends over. It's definitely a kind of a gateway entry game, super easy. You like the video, hit the like button. Please subscribe. This has been the McGuire Review. I'll see you guys later.
And it's like, oh, that was you?